Let's get
Thank
you
you.
straight into it because what do you think about England's form at the moment, going into a World Cup in Qatar and off the back of a Euros where we made it all the way to the final?
Well, I think we saw two kind of England yesterday. First half was not that brilliant, I would say. They conceded goals very easy, two of them, 2 goals. But the last 20 minutes, that was football from both sides. But England suddenly, they not only counter-attacked, they dominated the game. They could keep the ball on the last third and creating occasion after occasion, scoring 3 goals. Fantastic. And if England plays like that in the World Cup, they have a big chance.
Sven, I'd like to ask you a question, if I may. Do you think Gareth has left himself open a little bit to criticism due to the fact that he hasn't given perhaps 1 or 2 players an opportunity to let them see what they can do? Because I'm thinking along the lines of Ivan Toney, for example, perhaps Tammy Abraham, even Tomori. I'm thinking in the last 4 or 5 games it would have been an ideal opportunity because we know what Harry Kane can do, but we don't know what can happen if Harry Kane gets injured.
No, that's right. And I think the player playing in Roma, what's his name now?
What position?
He's important, yeah. So maybe, but I mean, the problem of Southgate is that he has too many good players. It's difficult to choose the best 11 for the day. And that's good. And I mean, also, if you don't win with England, you are criticized. That's a fact. It's always been like that, and it will always be like that in the future.
Sven, do you think that the clutch of young English players now are as good as it's ever been in England?
I think so. I think the strength is, of course, Kane. If he plays as he can play, England has a good chance in the World Cup. I would guess so. But also, England today, they don't have 11, 12 outstanding players. They have more. So even if someone is injured, they can put in another one and you can't notice a difference. And that's a big, big strength. The bench is, whatever the bench will be in the World Cup, it's very, very strong.
Sven, what do you think about the situation in defence? Because that's an area that England have been criticised quite highly for and suggested that they don't have a lot of depth there.
Well, playing 3 central defenders, I never liked it, but of course there are 3 great players, and Maguire, he was a little bit unlucky yesterday, I would say. The 2 first goals he's involved in, but well, I guess Southgate has chosen to play like that, and then right back. I mean, if it's a back line 4. Who's going to be the right back? He can close his eyes and choose. There are so many, and they are all very, very, very good.
Who would you start at right back or right wing back?
Maybe if I want to defend, if it's a very tough game, maybe Walker. If it's to attack, Arnold. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's fantastic with his right foot and running capacity, yes.
Sven, what would you do with the situation regarding Harry Maguire at this time? Because obviously Gareth feels that he hasn't let him down and he sticks by him, but I reckon he has a big problem if Maguire doesn't play for Manchester United between now and the World Cup.
That's always a problem you will have if they don't are regular in their club. It's very difficult to play them in the national team, and especially when you go to World Cup. So I don't know, but I guess Southgate, I don't know, but I guess that Southgate thinks that he is a very important player. Maybe even for the dressing room. I don't know that, but so I don't know what's going to happen there.
Sven, when you take a team, could you give us a little bit of insight into when you take a team to a major tournament, a World Cup? You've been associated with a couple of countries in regard to doing this. How important is it, the squad harmony with the players as much as anything else?
Well, you're saying a very important thing. If it's not harmony, good friendship, they stick together, they work together, they help each other, that's extremely important in football. But not only if you go to a World Cup or a Euro. It's important in any club as well. Because if you have a good ambient, good atmosphere in the team, you can afford a defeat or two. But if it's not good in the team, you can't afford one game to lose. It will be talking, it will be his fault, it's his fault, and whatever. So it's very, very important to build that relationship in the squad.
Can I ask you about Jude Bellingham at 19 years old? He could be starting as well this summer. What do you think about the future that he has and the kind of player that he looks now?
Well, he's already a great player, 19 years old. I mean, the future for him will be great, of course. And I can understand if Southgate going to start with him because he has everything as a central midfielder. The box-to-box, he's working very hard, he's brilliant, tactically very good. So, great player.
Sven, do you think, I've recently been working at West Ham and watching how the modern game's evolving, some people get hung up on the starting 11, but as we saw yesterday with the impact for England of Saka and Mount coming off the bench, it's become almost a squad game now with the numbers on the bench and the numbers you can choose from. And do you see the game evolving to sort of the importance of the starting 11? It is important, but maybe not as important as it was many years ago with not so many subs.
Yeah, but also, I mean, the strength of England, you saw that with the two substitutes came on, and I mean, they fixed the draw. They could have fixed the win for England. They were involved in both of them. So, I mean, to have two players like that on the bench, that's fantastic. They could be starting players and then somebody else sitting on the bench. So, England, they will have a very good squad, not only the starting 11.
Sven, I want to take you back to the squads that you had and the starting 11s that you put out there for 2002 and the World Cups in 2006 as well. Jamie Carragher said this on Twitter last night. He said, one or two players at the most from this current team will get into the 02-06 team and the same with the 96-98 team. I just wondered if you could tell me how many of the current players from last night's game would get into your World Cup squads.
In the squad, a lot of them, for sure. In the starting 11, I'm not that sure. But in the starting 11, I would always put Kane. Because I consider Kane one of the best strikers in the world. Because he has everything. He's strong physically, good header, a good passer of the ball, good shot, goal scorer, name it. And it's very difficult to play against him because he's powerful. And once again, if he is in a good shape in the World Cup, England has a good chance. So Kane, starting 11, then I'm not sure.
All right, Sven.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.